These are the boxes. We'll look at your formula sheet. There are two boxes. Sums to products and products to sums. So in the first one we're going to work on is product to sums. You're taking trig functions that are being multiplied and then kind of spreading them out into different sums or differences. So all you're doing is following the pattern. Find which one takes a cosine of something times a sine of something else. And that is right there. Follow the pattern. Notice that this is like 5x and 4x, and yet we have u's and v's up here. Think of the u's and the v's as part 1 and part 2. So what the pattern says is take 1/2. Let's go ahead and just use a square bracket because we're going to have parentheses inside. It says take the 1/2 of sine of the first part, which is 5x, plus the second part, which is 4x, minus, now we're subtracting, and now we do the sine of u again, comes from the first part, which is 5x, minus v, which is the second part, which is 4x.
Do you give points for like partially?
Sure. Yeah. So this is 1/2 sine of 9x minus the sine of x. What's 5x plus 4x? 9x. What's 5x minus 4x? 1x. Now some of you might write it you can either distribute the 1/2 to each of them, you can write it over 2, or but we're done. That's all we're doing. All we did is follow the pattern. It does make a difference now according to what they're telling us. Follow the pattern.
Oh yeah.
He's saying, why can't I take the 9x minus the x there? But really, remember what's happening here is it's kind of the firewall. The 9x really puts parentheses, or the sine puts parentheses around 9x, and the sine puts parentheses around the x. So order of operations would say you have to apply the sine first. Then you could add things together. But when I don't know what x is, I can't simplify that, so I can't pull them apart. Yeah. So it really it's almost an order of operations deal. Until you know what x is, you're not going to combine them. But that was it, right?
Yeah.
Now we're on this one. Which one does this? Cosine plus a cosine would be right here. Now this one again goes to x's and y's. But in the formula, cosine of the first thing, cosine of the second thing. So over here, x represents the first, y represents the second, and then you divide it by 2.
Why do they have it as 6?
So we're going to go 2 times the cosine. First plus the second, divide by 2. So first is 4x, second is 6x, and then we divide by 2. I mean, these things right here could get really crazy. But you add them together, then you divide by 2. So it might take you some work in other problems. Not plus, sorry. Then we write. Now we do the first part, 4x, minus the second part, 6x, divided by 2. What is 4x plus 6x? Most of you probably would already have that simplified. What's 4x minus 6x? So 10x divided by 2 is what? Negative 2 divided by 2 is what? Negative x. It's an even function though, so I'm not going to put negative x in parentheses.
So you can just cancel it out.
When things are even, if you take the cosine of a negative, it's the same thing as taking cosine of a positive. And to prove that, look at cosine of 30 and look at cosine of negative 30. The order pair is root 3 over 2 in both cases. So whether you do the cosine of a positive 30 or the cosine of a negative 30, they're the same thing. If you happen to write negative x here, I wouldn't mark it off. But are we good? All you are doing is following the pattern in the box.